Welcome to the Coast to Coast podcast, brought to you by Play Picks and the Lines. Coming to you from the West Coast, Josh Lander, joined by my guy Nate Weitzer on the East Coast. We're looking at a 4-game slate here on Monday night after Sunday saw a huge slate with a ton of great matchups, a couple back-to-backs tonight, including the game that we're looking at in this one. Utah is taking on Phoenix in Phoenix, second leg of a back-to-back for the Jazz, actually third game in 4 nights in a third different city as well. Some guys sitting out of the lineup probably tonight for actually both teams, so we'll take a look at some of that stuff. Nate does have his great article up on playpicks.com as well with some best bets and player props in there for you. And make sure to like and subscribe to that page. We've got a couple other videos up for you today, including that player props video we're trying to stay pretty hot with there. And as always, if you do still need a FanDuel or DraftKings account, head to ftpicks.com or dkpicks.com and find those listings in your area, such as what we've got for tonight. Nate, let's get into it.
Yeah, we got the Jazz at +9 right now. It opened around 7, but people have been betting those Suns based on the schedule. You mentioned a pretty key rest advantage there. Utah has also ruled out Donovan Mitchell and Bogdanovic, questionable, slight chance Gobert sits with his shoulder ailment. So could be a punt game for Utah, depending on who's out there. The total is 221.5 as we speak. So we will address that game in a second. 3 other games on the slate tonight. Knicks are +6.5 at the Cavs with a very low total of 202. Out there, the Indiana Pacers, the wildly inconsistent Pacers at the wildly inconsistent Pelicans, +3 in New Orleans there, and a total of 215. And then the other game we'll address, the Bulls are -2 at the Thunder, total of 215.5 there. With Utah, yeah, I mean, they've struggled lately, obviously losing 6 of their last 8. Can't seem to get Donnie and Rudy Gobert in the lineup at the same time, which is obviously their two-headed monster. It's their guy who locks down the defense and the offense, and you see that in the rating so clearly. When no Gobert, their defensive rating jumps from 108 to 122, worst in the league. That would be with no Donovan Mitchell. Their offensive rating drops from 115 to 109. And if Bogey sits too, that's a 7-point drop in terms of efficiency. They already hit 4 fewer triples without Donnie. The pace already goes down 3 possessions to 94.8, which is almost Knicks land there. They're on this back-to-back where they're 3-5 on 0 days rest this season, 3-7 against the spread with a rest disadvantage. But I think, I'm leaning towards the under more than a double-digit spread because at this point I don't know who's playing. If you're going to tell me Bogey and Gobert are sitting, then I would take the Suns to cover double digits probably. But I still think the better bet is the under here, which is hitting 4 straight for Utah as they've slowed down that pace. Donovan Mitchell's missed the last 3. And it's hit in 5 of the last 6 for the Suns. We know what they can do on defense. They can really key in on guys too. Like even if a Donovan Mitchell was out there, they would key in on the fact that Utah's scoring the highest percentage of triples that are unassisted, 3rd highest of field goals unassisted during this 8-game struggle fest. They're just not playing that kind of team ball that saw them lead the league in 3-point percentage the last couple of years and had them on fire offensively before this stretch. So with their struggling offense, it's not a good time to come into Phoenix, a team that's very switchable and very athletic, a lot of length, especially when they don't have DeAndre Ayton, who is out tonight. While he helps out on offense and he's obviously a key part of their plans and a great partner with CP3. When you have more JaVale McGee and more Bismack Biyombo, your defense is going to be a little more aggressive. You can play Cam Johnson more at the 4. And they're going to give these Jazz forwards a lot of trouble, I think. So I think, limiting their offense enough. Phoenix does what they do, which is grind out wins in whatever style they need. And if Utah's going to continue to play at this slower pace without their offensive engine, I think the Suns will oblige them and they'll win probably by single digits, but win keeping it with their defense. So we'll probably go under. I know you like Suns money line with that under, right?
Yeah, I think that's my preferred bet tonight. The Suns have won 19 of their last 21 games at home. We know how good they are at home since last season and back into this season. I mean, I think coming into this season, them and Milwaukee were my two favorite teams in the league. Milwaukee's shown they can be as good as Phoenix when they are healthy, and Phoenix has been pretty much the healthiest team in the league as far as contenders go this year, so they're easily in the number one spot, and they do that by doing everything that they do at home really well, and especially that defense, as we mentioned, going under at home, giving up only 103 points per game in that time frame. I do like the Suns to pull this one out. I do wish they had DeAndre Ayton, so this one could just be sort of a done deal, and I'd feel good about it. Initially, I thought Donnie Mitchell might come play tonight as a result of him sitting last night against the Dubs. Maybe they were saving him for tonight against a team that they actually had a little bit more fear of in terms of Phoenix than Golden State, especially with Golden State not playing Klay Thompson last night or Draymond Green still. Steph still shot horribly, and the Warriors won because there was no Donnie Mitchell in that game. And it was the fourth quarter really where Golden State made sure that they took over down the stretch. They only won by 2, but they were they were definitely in control, and you felt a little bit more confidence in them. And looking at tonight's what's going to happen in the fourth quarter again. You were talking about two of the best fourth quarter teams in the league here, the second and third best net ratings in the fourth quarter on the season. However, you look at what Utah has done as of late, as we've talked about, they struggled in their last 8. All those important numbers in the fourth quarter completely dropped for them, and now they're down to the 16th best net rating in the last 8 games, as opposed to number 2 overall in the season. As I mentioned, Phoenix in those last 8 games is a ridiculous plus 28 net rating in the fourth quarter of their games in their last 8. Staying hot pretty much as they've been all season. I do like the under here because of what we said. Phoenix at home, no Donovan Mitchell. Actually, DeAndre Ayton being out means Phoenix's defensive rating drops 2 points per 100 possessions, which is a little bit odd. But you mentioned their switchability, which is only going to help them against a team like the Jazz, who we know love to shoot that three-pointer. But as we also mentioned, the reason that the Jazz are struggling so much in their last 8, they are the number 1 three-point shooting team in the league on the season percentage-wise. They are number 22 in that department in their last 8 games. So as you mentioned, a ton of those coming off of unassisted three-point field goals, as opposed to them moving the ball super well, because Donnie Mitchell, probably because he's not in. When he's in, he's breaking down the defense and kicking. And now you got the other team scrambling to just fly around the three-point line as the ball is just moving seamlessly around the wing, around the top of the key and such. So this is one where I wish it wasn't 10 points right now. I think people definitely got it early. I might have gotten it around 6.5, 7 points and feel okay about it. I'm not worried about the spread. I'm not worried about the total. I really, really love the under in this one sitting at 222.5 right now. So I would consider, my best bet for this one is a parlay of that money line, as you mentioned off the top, money line, the Suns there, parlay that with the under, and just make sure that you get out alive rather than trying to get that 10-point spread against a Utah Jazz team that, look, if Rudy, if they've got other guys, like if Rudy Gobert is playing, if Bogey does play, both those guys, you still got plenty of offense, including Jordan Clarkson and Mike Conley in there to feel good enough about that you can hang at least offensively with the Suns enough to keep it under double digits. So I'm not trying to have to stress that out tonight. I'll just feel really good about the under and the Suns pulling this one out in the fourth quarter either way.
Yeah, but I would be more concerned if I was taking Jazz +9 than if Suns -9. I would lean slightly towards a Suns blowout here because this is another one of those home and home situations too. And Mitchell ruled out tonight. They should get him back by Wednesday out of concussion protocol and say, you know what, we're going to come back. We see teams split these home and homes a lot, right? And it's because they might take the L and then come back stronger on Wednesday and say, we'll prove that we can still beat this team. But the under is the numbers support it far more. I mean, Phoenix has dropped their pace too in their last 6 games with that 6-game win streak, a great +14 net rating. They're only allowing 102.5 points over their last 8 games, winning 7 of those. The under hits 13 out of their 22 games at home this season, where they allow under 104. And I mean, there has been some consistency in terms of under with Utah. The last couple meetings have gone over, but not really over this 221 total when these teams meet. So I think, with Utah struggling offensively, that's the one thing you can really get behind in terms of the Suns just being able to win on that side of the ball. And if you want to tease it down to -5 and get that under even higher, that's also a safe way to play it. probably about the same odds when you talk about a money line for a team that's 10-point favorite with the parlay there. So either way you slice it, yeah, we like the Suns to win and probably to do it with defense.
Yeah, exactly. And one more thing, adding to the lack of scoring for Utah, obviously Donnie Mitchell out means less offense. He's also number 7 in the league in fourth quarter points as well, just adding to that idea that when Chris Paul and Devin Booker are on the same team right now, they're going to close games out, and they're just going to make sure that they get that W however they need to. So might consider some CP stats tonight. Our guy's been super hot as well. Some player performance doubles you could consider with him. The double-double and the win is plus 176. Our guy's been getting 10.5 assists over his last 6 games or so, averaging that. 18 points is plus 230. I don't love the points quite as much at 18 at that point, just because I don't think we're expecting quite as many. But I think he will continue to slice and dice if you do like that double-double for him. So plenty more of that in our player props video. That is all the time we have for you on this one. Make sure to like and subscribe to the page. You can check out the other couple of videos we got up for you today. And until we see you next, happy betting.